recording our yoga flow with a focus on hip stability and hip mobility this morning. We will come down supine. So inviting yourself down on the mat and just kind of finding your bones and finding your muscles there and just sort of seeing if you can settle and let the floor really embrace and support you. Allowing the arm bones to come into the socket so the shoulders can relax. And maybe lifting the hips to lengthen the tailbone underneath you. You can keep your knees bent and your feet underneath your knees. Just coming into your breath. See what it feels like at this moment in time. Slowly invite a deepening so that you feel the ribs move on the inhalation and contract on the exhalation. And see if you can keep bringing more air down a little bit lower with each breath. Invite the air a little bit lower into your torso. And as we've got a hip focus today, interested in inviting you to inhale to the point where you feel the air coming down into the hip region, right? So the air can feel low in my belly, right in between my hip points. And when I exhale, everything draws in. Feel the core muscles drawing in on the exhalation. So feeling that easeful inhalation, relaxed belly, somewhat more active exhalation. A couple more breaths just to set up for our practice. Beautiful. Arms long by my side, palms down, feet are under my knees. Let's come up into bridge with an inhalation. So I'm going to press my feet down. I'm going to inhale so that my feet, energy goes up my legs, my hamstrings, my quadriceps, my glute muscles, my core engaged to lift me up high. And then I'm going to exhale and float back down. Keep going with your breaths. We're inhaling up as high as I want to go, and exhaling, I float down. We're going to play with this action of elevating our hips in a few different ways. So this is the kind of the first, most straightforward way that we're used to doing. And one more time, just up with an inhale and down with an exhale. Beautiful. Now let's take a little walk with my hips on the ground. So my hips are solid underneath me, even. Right hip, left hip are even underneath me, and I'm just taking a little walk. I may notice how the sides of my hip, which are called glute medius, how it's supporting me as I take this little kind of on the mat stroll. Great, and then connecting my feet again, stretch out my toes, connect my feet to the ground, the 4 points of each foot on the ground. And I'm going to press down again and inhale to come up. And now maybe I'm not as high as I was before. My arms are supporting, and I'm going to take the same walk here with this lifted hip position. So I just want to walk, and I want to keep my hips pretty still. So my hips are not swinging around, but I'm hugging in the glute medius on each side, hugging in, glute max supporting on the bottom. And I'm taking this little walk. And I'm inhaling and exhaling as I need to on my walk. One more. All right, come back down. Great. Now we're going to put the soles of our feet together. So the bottom, the edge of my foot is on the floor, right? So the kind of this edge of my foot is on the floor. Soles of my feet together. Give you a different view. And my knees are wherever they want to go. And I may like to have a block under my knee. And I should have mentioned we do want to have a block in this practice. But maybe I don't need the support and I can just be open like this. Just rock a little bit, feeling what you feel in the hip region. You might feel some engagement in the thighs. Beautiful. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to lift my right knee and bring it up, but I'm not going to let my feet separate. And then I'm going to drop it open again and then lift my left knee up and then drop it open again. So I want to feel really stable in the hip. And I'm just doing a little bit of, this is external rotation. And this is a little bit of coming internal, but not very far internal and external. Just feeling how this feels. Great, relax everything open. So now we're gonna lift our hips in a different manner. So I've got the edge of my foot on the floor. I'm gonna press that down and I'm gonna lift up my hips here. So press my feet down and I'm just lifting my hips up off the floor and coming back down. And it's not very high. It's not as high as bridge, right? I do want to kind of keep my knees open, right? So I could, but here's my knees are pulling in, but I'd like to keep my knees open while I do this. So just take some of these and see how it feels in your body. See what you feel, what's engaging, kind of where the work is. A couple more. Really connect with the feet. So that's helping to get you up. Shoulders are supporting too. All right, good. All right, hug my knees in, rock my sacrum. All right, good. So let's sort of talk about the movement of the hips. So let's leave my left leg bent, and I'm going to pull my right knee in. So this is flexion, hip flexion, right? So this is one thing my hip is really good at, is this kind of flexion. So I can pull my knee in, and then I can straighten my legs. Some people don't like to straighten, so you might be here, you might be straight, or whatever you want to do, up. And then I can flex my foot and lower it down, right? And so I'm moving through that full range of motion that is called flexion, which is kind of this forward motion that my leg is capable of. And then bring that leg in, hug the left knee in, and then same thing. Bring it up, whatever straight is for you is perfect, and then flex, and then lower it down, and slide that in. And then my hip can also do internal and external rotation, which we're exploring a little bit. So now I'm going to take my right knee in, and I'm going to put my hand on my right hand on my right knee, and I'm going to push it out. So my foot's going to come in, and my knee's going to go out. I'll show you a different angle, and then my foot is going to swing out, and my knee is going to come in, internal rotation. So let me show you at this angle. So I'm going to explore external rotation. So I'm pushing the knee out, so my foot comes in relationship to that. And then I'm going to bring my knee in internal rotation, and my foot goes out. And most people will have more external rotation than they will internal rotation. That would be very long. So one more time. Foot comes down. Let's explore the left. So left comes up, left hand on left knee, external and internal, keeping my hips stable on the ground. And you may notice that you have some difference side to side in terms of how much range of motion you have. There could be some slight differences one side to the other side. One more time. Great. And down. So now what I would like to do is I would like to hug my knees in and invite us to sit up. So I'm just going to rock up, if that works for you to rock up. If it doesn't, you can roll to the side and then sit up. And I'm sitting up nice and tall, and I'm putting my hands behind me. We're going to do the the kind of the third way of lifting my hips from the floor. So my hands tend to be with my fingers coming in, but everybody's a little bit different where their arms are comfortable. So literally put your hands down where it's comfortable for you. There's no demand that it be like I'm doing it, right? So it's kind of whatever's comfortable for you is perfect. My feet are on the floor, my hands are on the floor. I'm sitting up nice and tall, and I'm gonna lift my whole body, my hips up into a tabletop. So I'm just trying to lift my hips up and come back down. So that's the action. So, and again, feeling kind of glute, hamstrings, quadriceps, I feel at the top. So feel what you feel in your muscles. Couple more. And you probably also felt muscles firing up your back in that pose, which is true. Let's come around to all fours. We'll come into a cat and cow. So I want to place my hands underneath my shoulders, my knees underneath my hips. I'm about hip width apart, shoulder width apart, hip width apart. If I have trouble with my wrists, I can use fists. I like to really spread my hands, so I'm using all of my fingers to help hold me up, not just so the pressure is not just on my wrist. Strong arms. And then let's play with our spine so we can feel what neutral is. So I'm pushing my hips up, my pelvis up in an anterior tilt. And then I'm going to come through neutral, and then I'm going to come into a posterior tilt. And I'm just trying to explore, where do I feel like my spine is the longest? My tailbone stretching back and then kind of up to the crown of my head top. So we want to come into this neutral place to start. And then we'll go through a full cat and cow, which will involve my whole torso, right? So I'm going to inhale, and my belly drops, my pelvis lifts, my shoulders roll back, and I look up. And then I'm going to exhale, and I'm going to drop my pelvis, drop my head, scoop my core up and in and underneath me, and keep going. So this full motion. So I'm going to inhale and exhale. Just kind of feel what that feels like through the whole system. And one more time, kind of through this full range of motion. Nice big inhalation. Nice big exhalation. And then come back to neutral. You can explore neutral again with the pelvis. And now we're going to take a smaller cat-cow that is just focused on the hip movement. And I'm going to leave my upper torso alone. So kind of rib cage, shoulders, head are going to stay in place. And what I'm going to invite on the inhalation is my belly does drop and my pelvis tips up on the inhalation. And then on the exhalation, everything scoops under. But see how there's not a lot of movement in my upper back, in my rib cage area, in my shoulders. Just this little action of the pelvis. Keep going there with your breath. So that's an inhale. This is an exhale. And then come into this neutral place. Beautiful. We're getting involved with some bird dog with some variations here. So feeling really solid in your all fours. Let's inhale and lift our right leg up. right to hip level and feel what that feels like. And exhale and come back. And inhale and come right to hip level. And exhale and come back. So this is actually extension, right? Lifting back behind me. So come up against hip level and then lift. How high can you lift? Just lift as high as is comfortable for you. And then come back down. And inhale and lift as high as is comfortable for you. And come back down. Let's try that one more time. So I'm going to inhale hip level and then I'm going to go higher. Extension. And then inhale and go higher and come back. So everybody's a little bit different with how much we have less extension than flexion, but everybody's a little bit different how much they have. Then that would be normal. Great. Let's put our toes together, separate our knees, and slide back for child's pose. And kind of just turn your wrists around back and forth so you can just relax your wrists a little bit while we breathe in child's pose. Beautiful. Let's inhale and come up. So take it on up to down dog. So this time I'm going to tuck my toes, still having very strong hands underneath me. And I'm going to inhale so my knees float up and then keep inhaling and my hips float up. And when I get to the top, I can breathe and pedal and just explore how my dog feels today. Hips are elevated up. Thighs are drawing back towards the back of the room. My chest is melting towards my legs. My head and neck are relaxed. Spine is very long. Arms are strong. And then I can inhale full expression of dog and open my mouth and exhale. So we'll do some hip opener here. So I'm going to inhale my right leg up as high as it will go. Everybody's different here, and bend my knee. So I'm just trying to really open this hip on the right side, and I'm on like a tripod, 2 arms and 1 leg, and just kind of feel how this feels to open this. You're breathing. Now let's make hip circles. So I'm going to drop this hip down and take it internal and then swing it out and take it back up here. So we're making these big circles. There'll be 3 in this direction. Beautiful. And then let's take 3 the other way. So I'm going to kind of come up around and then drop and then swing it back up. So 3 in this direction. Beautiful. One more breath here in this full open expression position. And then exhale and come down and again. Adjusting, adjusting. Great. Inhale, full expression of your dog. Open your mouth and exhale. Let's inhale the left leg up and take that bend and take that openness on the left side. And again, just noticing one side might feel tighter or different than the other side. Breathing in this tripod position. And then we'll take those circles. So I'm coming internal first and out and around, back around. Great. And then we'll take it the other way. Keep breathing. Inhale here and exhale, put it down. Great. Inhale here and exhale. Beautiful. Let's inhale forward to plank. And then let's exhale. Lower yourself down to the ground however you would like to lower yourself to the ground. So it could be full chaturanga, half chaturanga, or knees and chest. Inhale, cobra. And exhale back down. Beautiful. Let's make a little pillow for my forehead, hand over hand, and I can put my head down on that little pillow that I've made. My pelvis is connected, my chest is connected to the floor, my shoulders are, my arm bones are in the socket here. Inhale here and exhale. So we're gonna play with this leg extension again. So I'm gonna inhale and lift my right leg alone, as far off the floor as I can get it, and exhale down. Inhale my left leg and down. And then inhale both of them together and down. So let's keep alternating that. Notice what you notice what's engaging. One more set. Beautiful. So let's come back up to all fours. And my hands are underneath my shoulders, my knees are underneath my hip, and I'm going to do 3 regular bird dogs with my arm this time. So I'm going to inhale my left arm and my right leg. Torso is still. Exhale, come back in. Inhale, exhale. All right, good. I'm going to turn this way so this will be clear. Now we're going to do a bird dog clock. And sometimes we do just the leg, but today we're going to do arm and leg, which is a little more challenging. So I'm going to feel really firm here before I do anything. Strong arms, strong legs, right? I'm going to inhale my right arm and my left arm and my right leg. And then I'm tick-tocking like I was a grandfather clock. From side to side, I'm tick-tocking like I was a grandfather clock. Just notice what you notice. Torso is very still. One more. And inhale to come back and just kind of wiggle around. I'll show it from a different angle. So nice and strong stance before I do anything. Inhale, right arm, left leg, and then I'm going to tick tock. So notice what you feel in the hip region. Feel the stillness in the torso. Of course, the shoulder is working too. One more. Beautiful. Take everything in. Child's pose again. This time, arms back behind me, hands clasped, and roll my shoulders back and lift my arms up and breathe here. Beautiful. So I'm going to just turn around. We're going to come forward, back up into down dog. So tucking my toes. I'm going to inhale all the way up. Open my mouth and exhale. I'm going to inhale. I'm on my tippy toes. I'm going to exhale. Walk me forward. Forward fold. First time we're here today. So clasp my elbows and just really relax and breathe here. Releasing all the tension. Just be in this forward fold. Let's catch up with an inhalation here. Inhale, half lift, so my back ribs lift me up. Exhale, forward fold. And then inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up. And exhale, hands in front of my heart. Great. All right, take everything out. We will get ready for a standing series. So, standing at the front of our mat, really lengthening our tailbone. We're beautifully nice and tall. That is, we're going to inhale and step back into a crescent lunge. So I'm going to step my right leg back. And I'm staying on the ball of my foot. Now, if this is difficult for me, I can absolutely put my foot down more in a warrior one position. So it's up to me whether I stay in this crescent lunge or come more into a warrior one, that's fine. My front knee is stacked over my ankle. So catch up with an inhalation here. Beautiful. And then I'm going to exhale and bow forward. I'm reaching forward. And inhale here. Then I'm going to exhale. I'm going to drop my right hand and I'm going to revolve to the back of the room, turning towards my left thigh. And then I'm going to inhale back to this bowed position and exhale here. And then inhale and come up. Exhale, settle me down into warrior two, right? So I did put my back foot down. This front knee has stayed stacked over my ankle. Arms are teed out. I'm open to the long edge of my mat, but my hips are relaxed wherever they want to be. Everybody will be slightly different where their hips are. Just be where you are with your hips. But I can open my shoulders to the long edge of my mat. Inhale here. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Let's reverse. Let's inhale our arms up. Let's straighten our front leg. We're going to exhale over into triangle. And what I want you to feel is kind of this, feel the difference in what the hips are doing. So this, as I'm going over into triangle, this left hip is kind of pulling back as I come down into triangle. And again, my torso is towards the long edge of my mat. Tee out my arm. Just feel the difference between what my left hip is doing versus what my right hip is doing. Breathe here. And inhale to come up, exhale, reverse. Inhale, let's step forward. Exhale, let's sink into chair, hands Anjali Mudra, palms in front of my heart. Inhale here. Exhale, let's revolve to the right. Inhale. Exhale, revolve to the left. Inhale. Exhale to come all the way up. And inhale. Check your really tall glute. And then let's exhale, stepping back into the crescent lunge position on the second side. Again, I can put my foot down if that is better for me. Inhale, my arms up. Exhale into my bow. Inhale here. Exhale into my revolved position. Inhale back. Exhale and inhale to lift up. And then exhale, settle into my warrior two. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Let's exhale and reverse our warrior. Inhale, our arms come up, our legs straightens, and then this hip is tucking in to take me over, hinging to take me over. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, step forward, exhale. So my hips hinge to take me down into chair. And inhale here. Exhale, revolve to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, revolve to the right. And inhale, center. And exhale, come all the way up. Maybe there's a little stretch going on here. And inhale, just relax and get tall. And we'll add on. So I'm going to inhale here. I'm going to exhale, step back into my crescent lunge. Inhale. Exhale. Oops. Exhale to bow. Inhale. Exhale to revolve. Inhale to come back. Exhale here. Inhale to come up. Exhale. Warrior two. Inhale. Exhale, revolve. Reverse. Inhale, straighten my leg. Exhale, lift up and over into triangle. Inhale to come back up. Exhale, reverse. Let's inhale and turn to the front. So I'm in a warrior one position. So my back foot is down. Inhaling here. I'm going to exhale, and when I'm gonna step forward. I'm gonna lift this back knee up into it, flexion in front of me. Okay, I'm inhaling here. Then I'm gonna exhale, and I'm gonna lift this knee up. I'm losing my balance. And then inhale and step back. Great. And exhale, reverse. And inhale and step forward, and exhale, hinging at the hip. I'm in chair. Just breathe here in chair. Just kind of feel this hip hinge action, knee bend action, ankle bend action. I can be lower or higher, wherever's comfortable for me is perfect. Inhale to come up. Exhale to relax. Inhale to grow tall. And exhale, stepping my foot back, crescent lunge, second side. Inhale. Exhale to bow. Inhale. Exhale to revolve. Inhale to bow. Exhale. Inhale to come up. Exhale. Warrior two. Inhale. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, arms up straight, like exhale, hinging at the hip, over into triangle. Inhale, back up, exhale, reverse. Inhale, warrior one. And exhale, my knee comes up. It doesn't matter. I'm having great balance today. That happens. Exhale, reverse. And inhale. Step forward and exhale. Chair, finding that hinge. We're just breathing here. Inhale and stretch, and exhale, everything relaxes. One more cycle. I'm going to inhale tall. Exhale, stepping back from my crescent lunge. Inhale. Exhale, bow. Inhale. Exhale, revolve. Inhale, bow. Exhale, inhale, come up. Let's exhale right into reverse. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, take the over into triangle. Inhale, back up. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, my knee comes up. Inhale, exhale, reverse. And then inhale and just face me and just sort of heel toe in. We're going to come into funky chair right in the middle of all this. So we'll use our right leg first. So for funky chair, hands in Anjali Mudra, I'm going to sink into my chair, however low or high that is for me. And then using my right foot to really, and leg to support me, I'm going to cross and put my left ankle on my right thigh and breathe here. Here's funky chair. So the external rotation of this leg here, supported by the glute. Lots of hip action, core action, breathing. Inhale to come out of that. And exhale to step to the front of your mat. And inhale, tall. Exhale, chair. Hinging down into chair without the funky part. And inhale, back up. Exhale, second leg goes back. Inhale. Exhale to bow. Inhale. Exhale to revolve. Inhale to bow, exhale in. Exhale, right. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, pinky it. Triangle. Inhale, back up. Exhale. Inhale. Warrior one. Exhale. Lift that knee. Inhale. Some days there's no good balance. Exhale. And then inhale, face the front, and then heel poke in, but I will turn around and we will funky chair standing on the left. You can tell I've got a tendon problem on the left. That's why I'm a little weaker on that side. So sinking into my chair. We'll see how it goes today. Feeling the support of your left foot and leg. The right ankle is going to hook. And breathe and breathe. You can see this is a left tendon problem. So we always work with our problems. And we just work with them. And I could take it. I may take myself over where I've got a little support. Just breathing here. Work in progress tendon. All right, inhale and come up and exhale. We'll step to the front. Inhale, exhale, sink into chair one more time here. Then inhale. Then we're going to work our way down. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Hands down. And let us just take our knees back and we'll come around. Let's just sit down and come into Dandasana. So my legs are stretched out and I'm going to sit up nice and tall. And let's release our ankles and our wrists, hard working. Flex both, point both. So let's let the tension out of those hard working joints. All right, so we're going to come around to supine. I asked for you to have a block. So come around to supine and have your block within reach. And if you don't have a block, you can do this on the ground without a block, but here we go. Let's lie down. So we're going to pay some attention to our hip flexors here. So I'm going to put this underneath my sacrum. I don't want to catch any vertebrae. So all my vertebrae are floating off and down. So if you can see my hand, my vertebrae are floating off and down, but I'm on it with my sacrum. And let's start with both knees are bent. And I'm going to straighten my right leg, whatever straight is for me. So, and it's not, I'm not trying to do a big hamstring stretch here. I'm just kind of perpendicular. So maybe I'm there, maybe I'm there. Wherever it is for me is fine, and point my toe. And then I'm going to flex my foot and I'm going to lengthen my psoas muscle by slowly dropping my leg down. So at the bottom, I'm at the longest position of my psoas. Then I'll point my toe and I'll use my hip flexor to draw up, and now my psoas has shortened. And then go ahead and lengthen it. This is the muscle that can get very short if we sit for long periods of time. So this is actually a very nice move to take if you're kind of trying to unwind for that. Let's change it a little bit by now lengthening my left leg out too. Same thing, flex and lower. It's going to feel a little bit different because now my left psoas is in its lengthened position as well. And we'll have one more after this, point to lift. And flex to lower. Let's bring the right leg into a bent position, bring the left knee in and draw it up. Whatever that is for me is perfect. Pointed, and then flex it, lower it down, point and draw it up. And once again, it's useful to notice, do I have a different sensation side to side? Can I stay even on my hips on the block side to side? When I draw this leg up, let's lengthen the right. So if you feel the length of the in the right, and then flex and lower this down. Just feel the difference of how this feels with the long leg. And then and just spend a moment here just feeling this, feeling the stretch, feeling what you feel in the back and the front and in all sides of the hip. Just feel what you feel here and breathe. Beautiful. And then let's bring our feet in so we can take this block out. And we're gonna come in, we're gonna use figure 4 as our kind of final wind down here. And I'll change position so to be very clear. So I'm lying nice and organized and flat. I'm gonna take my, just like funky chair, I'm gonna take my right ankle and put it on my left knee. I'm gonna reach under my left thigh and pull it towards me. And I'm stretching my glute muscles here, and I'm just gonna breathe here. And then we will take it into a twist as well. So just a few cycles of breath here. Beautiful. Now inhale here, and then exhale, and let your knee, your left knee drop, your right foot drop, and just let your hips be wherever they are. See out your arms, and then look out over your right hand to just complete the twist of the spine, and breathe here. Beautiful. Let's inhale to come back. Both feet on the ground, maybe move around a little bit. Feel that. Lift my left ankle, put my left ankle on my right knee, grab my right thigh, draw it in. You might notice a difference one side to the other in this glute stretch. And just breathe here. Let's catch up with an inhale here. And when I exhale, I'm dropping this right knee and this left foot, and then let my hips be where they are, tee out my arms and turning my head to look out over my left hand to complete the spinal twist, and then breathe here. Beautiful. Back to center. And let's go ahead and have a happy baby. Any kind of final pose your body might want to have before we invite ourselves into Savasana. And like me, if you've lost some layers, you could consider putting a layer back on before we lay down. And we will extend our legs out, lengthen our tailbone, settle our shoulders down. I do like to turn my palms up by my side. That feels like it invites my shoulders into a nice and comfortable and relaxed position. And I can almost even just sort of wiggle a little bit and see if I can just release any remaining tension. And then bring my attention into my breath. Once again, really inviting it to deepen. Might have shortened in our practice, so let's invite it to deepen. And so I'm bringing air down into that hip region, and then feeling it come out again with the exhalation. And sometimes I like to recheck my tailbone, and just now with your breath, allow this path of the air to bring your attention to your hip region, and just notice what you notice from the work we engaged in for mobility and stability in the hip. Perhaps your mind goes to a particular area where you're having some sensation or muscle or joint that is calling for your attention. Just sort of notice what you notice. As you breathe, and we'll stay with this breath focus for a few moments of stillness for Savasana. And you can deepen your breath. Watching from home, you could stay in Savasana if you like. If you want to come up, let's wiggle fingers and toes. We move wrists and ankles. And let that grow into some stretching of limbs. See how your hips feel as they get some benefit of the stretching. Got two options for coming up to a seat. You could roll to the side and come up slowly that way, or if you'd like to pull your knees in and rock up, you could make the choice to rock up. So I leave it to you. Oh, you want to come up, maybe keeping your eyes downcast or closed. And I want to offer too, you can just sit easy seat on your mat. But sometimes I like to sit on a block, so you could sit on a block to kind of takes my hips up over my knees this way. And I also sometimes, which I just feel like doing today, will use the block for kneeling. So I'm just kneeling and sitting on the block. So you can make that choice. And let us sit up nice and tall, just finding all that length, feeling the support of our hips underneath us solidly on the ground, feeling those sits bones and the hip joint really anchoring us, and hands on your thighs, either palms up or palms down, whatever your preference. Shoulder, arm bones in the socket, and head, crown reaching up. And let's inhale through our nostrils. Open our mouths and sigh it out. Inhale and sigh it out. And sigh it out. Thank you for joining me for this hip mobility and stability practice and exploration. I enjoyed it very much. I theme each week of our practice, and I am going to choose to come all the way north for next week and have a kind of a neck focused practice next week, which, you know, it means we move everything. It's just where the focus is. So thank you. I will stop the recording.